stand up right now. Lift one foot off the ground. Try to balance for 30 seconds. Feel that wobble? That's not weakness. That's your brain rewiring itself in real time. Most people think balance is about strength, about your legs, your core, your ankles. They're wrong. Balance is a brain function, and 30 seconds on one leg might be the most powerful brain exercise you've never done. I tested this for 60 days, every morning. 30 seconds on each leg, no equipment, no gym, just me and the floor. What happened to my focus, my memory, my anxiety, and even my reaction time by day 60 was so unexpected that I checked my balance again just to make sure I wasn't imagining it. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you stood on one leg for more than a few seconds? If you're like most people, you can't remember. Because we've forgotten that balance is not just for gymnasts and yoga teachers. Balance is for everyone, and your brain is desperately waiting for you to challenge it. Here's what's actually happening inside your skull when you stand on one leg. Your brain has a hidden system called the vestibular system. It's located in your inner ear. 3 fluid-filled loops that detect every tilt, turn, and movement of your head. This system sends 100,000 signals per second to your brain. That's more than your visual system, more than your auditory system. Your balance system is the fastest sensory system in your body. When you stand on one leg, your vestibular system goes into overdrive. It's trying to figure out why your body is wobbling, why your center of mass has shifted, why the ground feels different under one foot. Every wobble is a signal. Every micro-adjustment is a learning event. Here's what most people don't know. Your balance system is connected to everything. Your vestibular nerve connects directly to your cerebellum, the part of your brain that coordinates movement. But it also connects to your hippocampus, the memory center, your amygdala, the fear center, your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center, and your brainstem, the arousal center. When you challenge your balance, you're not just training your legs, you're training your memory, your emotions, your decisions, and your alertness, all at once. Let me share what happened during my 60-day experiment. Day 1 was humiliating. I wobbled like a newborn deer. I lasted 12 seconds on my left leg and 9 seconds on my right. I had to hold on to the wall twice. My brain felt scattered for hours afterward. Not in a bad way, just different. Day 5 was better. 18 seconds on the left, 15 on the right. I noticed something strange. My focus at work was sharper. I wasn't getting distracted as easily. I mentioned this to a friend who's a physical therapist. She said, "Of course, you're training your cerebellum. The cerebellum processes 80% of your brain's total neurons. When you wake it up, everything wakes up." Day 14 was when I first felt the shift. 25 seconds on both legs, no wall. My mind was quiet, my body felt grounded. And then something unexpected happened. I was driving later that day when a car cut me off. Normally I would have gotten angry. My heart would have raced. My jaw would have clenched. But this time, nothing. I just watched the car merge and kept driving. My reaction time had changed. Not physically, emotionally. My amygdala, the fear center, had calmed down. The balance training had strengthened the connection between my cerebellum and my amygdala. My brain was processing threats differently. A study from the University of Tokyo found that 4 weeks of balance training reduced anxiety scores in older adults by 30%. The mechanism was cerebellar amygdala connectivity. The better the balance, the calmer the fear response. By day 30, I was holding 30 seconds easily. But the real changes were happening inside. My memory improved. I wasn't forgetting names anymore. My reaction time was faster. I caught a falling glass before it hit the floor, something I would have missed before. Here's what the research says. A study from the University of Pittsburgh found that balance training improves working memory more effectively than cognitive training alone. The balance group showed a 16% improvement in working memory. The cognitive training group showed only 5%. Why? Because working memory and balance share neural resources. Your prefrontal cortex is responsible for both. When you train balance, you're giving your prefrontal cortex a workout. The same region that controls your attention, your decisions, and your short-term memory. Let me tell you about the vestibular hippocampal connection. Your hippocampus is the memory center of your brain. It's also one of the first regions to shrink with age, shrinking at a rate of 1 to 2% per year after age 60. This shrinkage correlates with memory decline and increased risk of dementia. Your vestibular system projects directly to your hippocampus. Every time you move your head, your vestibular system sends signals to your hippocampus. These signals tell your hippocampus to update your mental map of where you are in space. When you stand on one leg, you're forcing your vestibular system to work harder. More signals to your hippocampus, more activation, more blood flow, more neurogenesis. Your hippocampus grows. A study from McGill University found that older adults who performed balance training for 6 months showed increased hippocampal volume, not just maintenance, growth. The control group who did stretching exercises showed the expected age-related decline. Think about what that means. Your memory is not destined to fade. It's waiting for you to challenge your balance. Now let me tell you about the connection between balance and reaction time. Your brainstem contains a structure called the reticular activating system. It's your brain's arousal center. It determines how alert you are, how fast you react, how quickly you process information. Your vestibular system connects directly to your reticular activating system. When you challenge your balance, you're activating your brainstem. You're waking up your entire nervous system. A study from the University of Oregon found that 4 weeks of balance training improved reaction time by 25% in healthy adults. 25%. That's the difference between catching a falling object and watching it shatter. Between avoiding a fall and breaking a hip. Here's what most people get wrong about balance training. They think it's only for older adults. For people at risk of falling. They're wrong. Balance training is for everyone, because balance is not just about preventing falls. It's about optimizing brain function. Your brain is a prediction machine. It's constantly predicting where your body will be in the next moment. When you stand on one leg, you're forcing your brain to make more predictions, more calculations, more adjustments. Every wobble is a prediction error. Every correction is a learning event. The more prediction errors your brain processes, the better it gets at predicting. The better it gets at predicting, the faster your reaction time. The faster your reaction time, the safer you are in the world. Let me tell you about the connection between balance and executive function. Your prefrontal cortex is responsible for planning, decision-making, impulse control, and cognitive flexibility. It's also the most energy-demanding region of your brain. When you're stressed, tired, or overwhelmed, your prefrontal cortex is the first to suffer. Your vestibular system connects to your prefrontal cortex through a network called the vestibulo-prefrontal pathway. When you challenge your balance, you're activating this pathway. You're sending blood flow to your prefrontal cortex. You're waking up your decision-making center.